Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Your Girl. I don't like mornings. The one thing I do like about mornings is breakfast. And if you know me, you know I love breakfast. I'm a pretty plain Jane girl when it comes to pancakes. But today we are making pecan pancakes from scratch. So no Aunt Jemima mix here. First things first, we are going to use a large batter bowl. I have to use 2 hands for this, so this shit is heavy. Our first ingredient is 1.5 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt. For my favorite ingredient, which is kind of like my secret ingredient, and it might be, maybe somebody's already figured this out, 1/2 cup of cake mix. The rule of thumb is to mix your dry ingredients separate from your wet ingredients. So that's what we're doing. And we're gonna put that aside. We're gonna work on one of the major ingredients when it comes to making pancakes, and that's our milk. I prefer when making pancakes to use a buttermilk, so I make my buttermilk at home. 1.5 cups of almond milk. We are gonna add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and we'll mix that around. And I'm gonna let that sit for a few minutes while we work on our wet ingredients. Wet ingredients time. We need to add our eggs. I am very, very, very picky with my eggs. I don't like the little white things that are in the eggs, and I always like to pick it out, and then a lot of my friends make fun of me, but I don't like the babies at all in my eggs. Beat the eggs around a little bit. We are gonna add 4 to 5 tablespoons of butter. I like lots of butter for this. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And we'll stir everything together. Our final wet ingredient, the buttermilk that we made. I absolutely love pancakes. Learning about me, you will know that breakfast is one of my favorite meals of the day. I always eat breakfast. I never miss breakfast. If I'm not making pancakes, I'm making waffles. If I'm not making waffles, I'm making eggs or eggs Florentine. Whatever you can guess for breakfast, I'm always making. So we are gonna add our wet mixture to our dry mixture. The rule of thumb here is to fold your ingredients. The reason being is if you stir too aggressively, you're activating the gluten in the flour. So what it does is it causes for really tough, thick, heavy pancakes. But what's the rule if you don't break it? My pancakes are never heavy, so I'm not worried about how often I stir it. Now that we have our batter ready, bring forward your pecans and your butter for cooking. We are going to turn our stove on and get ready to start cooking these pancakes. Here's the thing, when I'm making pancakes, I don't like to add oil or butter until before I flip. So I like to put my pan to a medium heat, and we're gonna pour our batter in. Again, another rule of thumb when making pancakes, there's a lot of rule of thumbs. Bubbles. You gotta watch for the development of your bubbles in the pancake. That's when you know when to flip it. Me, I just guesstimate. But it's at this time that I add my pecan. Always after. I never mix it in the batter. And I'm going to sprinkle a little. And this is the time I add my butter. And just around the pancake. I usually like to use a smaller non-stick pan so I can get an even shape for all my pancakes. But for some reason my smaller pan doesn't work on this induction burner. I guess it's not induction compatible. I like to use my spatula and just like jimmy under the pancake. That's how I kind of check the status of it. And I'm going to flip. Boom! This, my friends, is exactly why I add the butter after. That nice golden color on the top. Oh, I can't wait to eat this. Add your second pancake. Right in the center. Growing up, my mom would make pancakes on Sunday mornings, and it would fill the house with such a wonderful smell that I think maybe that's kind of like triggers why I really like breakfast. My nana used to do the same. She would literally make pancakes, sunny side up, eggs, bacon. It was good. It was good. And I would go to school with a full belly, like itis at school. But I was always fed. And that's a blessing. So I'm very thankful for that. So when I have my children, I'm definitely going to make breakfast a very important bonding experience for us. That's for sure. So again, just jimmy your spatula around. We're gonna flip this pancake now. Watch. And what I love about crushing the pecans is you get a little bit of like the dusty parts, and then you have some chunks. So every bite that you have of the pancake is gonna have a little hint of pecan, whether it's a slight flavoring or the actual crunch. I'm like so excited. Look at that. We're done. And our final ingredient, maple syrup. This is like tapping the tree in the forest behind where you used to live. I love maple syrup. Aunt Jemima, out the door. Natural Canadian maple syrup is the way to go. Now, the moment of truth. Look at how fluffy that looks. You can see the little bits of pecan. Nice golden color. That is fire. Definitely very light and airy. Not heavy at all. You get the nice texture from the pecans. You like a little crunch. Best thing to add, I think. Thank you again for watching Cooking with Dolly.